All right, first of all, I just want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yashai. What I just said is all praises to the Father in the name of the Son. I also want to say Yahweh Shem Yashai Barakatah, meaning Most High in Christ blessed. Right, so for some reason, I just felt like doing this video today, so we're going to get into it. Got it written down, so this may go by faster than usual. I didn't think of anything. The Spirit just led me to it, so I'm just going to get right into it, and I'm going to get over it. Right? So first off, I'm going to start in the verse that I don't have written down, because this is a product of us being this is a product of us being under the curses, man. Right? So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman. Right? When we say Eve, we're referring to the Israelite, not just a black woman, right? It's the Israelite woman, which are the African American woman, Native woman, and Hispanic woman, right? So this is saying the tender and delicate woman among you, because this is how our woman used to be servitude to Esau, man, right? And it says, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness, right, and tenderness, right? She wouldn't even put her foot on the ground, right? I think yesterday or the day before, when I was doing the lesson, I actually touched base on our women being so tender and delicate that they wouldn't even want to put their feet upon the ground, right? And how that's going to be in the kingdom, man. I may have got that with the last lesson, what is the kingdom of heaven, right? The kingdom of heaven breakdown, right? That's actually something that I'm almost certain I got into, right? So this is how a woman was operating, man, right? It says, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, right? Meaning that they're going to have an evil eye, or they're going to have animosity towards their husband, man, right? They're going to have pent up aggression, and basically they're going to have disdain towards the husband, man. They're not going to be pleasure to be with their husband. They're not going to be pleased to be dwelling with their husband, man. They're going to want to tear him down, man. Right? It's simple, man. Right? The women, they were conditioned to think in this way, man. Right? And it says toward her son and toward her daughter, right? I'm going to come over here because I don't want to open up another tab over here, right? We just going to get rid of this. My internet is acting mighty slow today. Let's just make sure I'm not broadcasting the screen over here, right? All right. I gotta get my email pulled up. I sent to myself because it's got some good information that I looked up on ChatGPT to see why we going through this stuff, man. Right? So we just gonna go here, get this in full screen, make sure my information ain't really showing here. Right, actually, let's do this. We just trying to get information or spread. Let's see if I can get a Microsoft Word going, man. I can't even get a new word. Okay, so I can't get that going. I'm just trying to get this going, man, so I could share this. I'm not trying to share my email information or nothing like that here. So here we go. All right, so we just gonna copy this here. I don't want to copy too much information, right? Dang, it's just taking everything above the first letter. All right, boom. All right, so let's paste this in here, right? So this is all going hand in hand with the history of how black women were used to divide the Negro family during slavery, right? Which eventually leads to black women caping for Esau. hand in hand, right? So it says the history of black women in America is deeply intertwined with the forces that sought to undermine black families and communities. These efforts were multifaceted, involving both the systemic devaluation of black womanhood and the deliberate targeting of black families. Some of the ways in which black women are weaponized throughout American history include slave labor and dehumanization, right? During slavery, black women were often treated as property, forced into labor under brutal conditions, and sexually exploited by white men. Their bodies were commodified not only for labor but also as instruments to sustain plantation economy. Many black women were forced into sexual relations with slave owners, leading to the birth of children who were enslaved as well. This perpetuated the cycle of slavery across generations while systemically simultaneously dehumanizing black women and separating them from their families, as children could be sold away from their mothers at any time. So here it says that they they are going to be evil towards their husband or their bosom and toward their son and toward their daughter. So they was removed from the family, man. That's part of why they have that evil eye, man. And this is separation of families. Enslaved black families were deliberately separated to break any sense of familial bonds or unity. This is from ChatGPT, by the way. Black women were often separated from their children and husband as families were auctioned off and sold to different slave owners. This created a fractured sense of community and safety within black families. So now the black woman trusts in ESAU, man, right? And this also goes into not just American slavery, right? Let me make sure my screen is good. And let me get this chat pulled up, right? Because I did have a chat before in this on this channel, so I don't want to miss out on anybody. But yeah, man, they use this to as an advantage, man, and it says to break familial bonds and unity, man. Black women were often separated from children and their husband as families were often off and sold to different slave owners. This created a fractured sense of community and safety within black families. So there was no safety. It was fractured in the black families, with mothers and children facing the constant threat of being torn apart. And it says the stereotype of the strong black woman, right? The stereotype of the strong black woman was used to justify the exploitation and abuse of black women. The stereotype not only ignored the vulnerability of black women, but also placed the burden of survival and resilience solely on their shoulders. Right? It served as a means of controlling the narrative about black womanhood, depriving them of the chance to express vulnerability or the need for help. So they saying that basically during slavery, women couldn't rely on a man, right? And they couldn't go to him for a sense of safety, man. Right? And then what do we have now, man? A bunch of strong black women, man. Right? This is what this is going into, right? Let me see if I can make this text a little bit bigger for some people, because I know if I can't read it on the screen, some other people want to be able to read it. So let's go to the biggest size we could go, right? That's much better. Okay. So yeah, that's where we were. You can pause and read this if you want to. I've already read it. You can pause and read this if you want to, right? The third one, right? And that's where we're just going into. It says the stereotype not only ignored the vulnerability of black women, but also placed a, okay, I got that. It served as a means of controlling the narrative about black womanhood, depriving them of the chance to express vulnerability or need for help. So a lot of people will say black women are masculine, or they will compare trans women to black women, right? And attitude and features, but this is not features, they're not masculine, man. Black women, the most beautiful women on the planet Earth, but the attitude is right, man. And they have masculine attitudes, and that deprives from slavery, man. Right? It comes hand in hand, man. Right? And why does Eve think that she don't need a man? Because of slavery. This is actually from what they did in slavery to break up the family, man. This is an example that they use, man. This concept is often used to erase the struggles of black women face and to minimize their cause for justice, man. Right? So that's why they think nobody is here to help us. Because when the black man is putting down their coat for them and doing X, Y, and Z, they don't value that, man. Right? They don't value a black man doing things for them. But when they need help and the white man don't help them, they're like nobody here to protect the black woman, even though black men have at high rates been known to protect the black woman, man. Um, Criminalization over policing of black women during and after slavery. Black women were criminalized and disproportionately punished. Laws that criminalized blackness, such as the Black Clothes and Jim Crow laws, were applied to black women as well. Many black women, particularly those in poor communities, were criminalized for things like being disorderly or immoral. This still happens to this day, right? And subjected to forced labor and imprisonment. The over policy, the over policing of black women often led to their removal from their homes and families, while men were frequently incarcerated as well, leading to broken homes and communities, right? So we see this, man, still to this day, man, right? That's still an ongoing practice that they use to keep the women thinking that they are above the black men, right? And thinking that they got a coat for ESAU, man. But this is not to that extent anymore, because black women are not as jailed as high as black men, right? But they still go through this, man, right? And it says welfare policies and the welfare queen stereotype, man. This is the main one, and this ain't during obviously this ain't during slavery, man. But it was a system that was set up after slavery. So it says in the 20th century, especially in the post-civil rights era, welfare policies were designed to undermine black families by portraying black women as dependent on government assistance, right? So they just portray this because you see it all the time, man. Now this is it's still not the case, but they still try and paint it that way, right? The infamous welfare queen stereotype was used to depict black women as lazy, dependent, and unworthy of support, which is kind of in a sense true, man, right? Some women, they just try and get the money, right? And they depend on the government for housing, food, and everything else, right? And unworthy of support, meaning that they don't need the help of a man. They got the government, so they don't need a man to support them. This is what they get that from, man. This not only stigmatized black women, but also devalued the importance of black motherhood and the struggles of black families. This is actually not a devaluement. Well, it is a devaluement of black motherhood, but also a devaluing of black fatherhood as well, man. And it says welfare reform in the 1990s targeted black women, pushing them toward low-paying, unstable jobs, often leaving them without the means to properly care for their families, man. Didn't know about that last part, but welfare reform, that happened in the late 1990s, if I'm not mistaken. I witnessed this with my house, but it was affected because of I had a male figure move into the house, and now it was, oh, he's in the house, so he can't, you gotta do this, you can't receive this and that, and so on and so forth, man. So that's what it was, man. And it says the impact of mass incarceration. The mass incarceration of black men during the war on drugs disproportionately affected black families. While black men were incarcerated in large numbers, black women were left to manage their families. This is a huge one, alone, right? Often without adequate resources or support. The consequences were devastating for children, many of whom were placed in foster care or grew up in single-parent households. Additionally, the systemic targeting of black men for incarceration often led to disempowerment of black women and their relationships and family, which continued to undermine the stability of the black family unit. So this is showing you why, it's giving you point upon point of why we have Eve coping or caping for Esau, right? Eve is going to continue to practice this even well after it's already into effect. They have this mindset that this is how it is and this is how it's gonna be, man. Right? You gotta realize that this is just building stepping stones, man, or building stones to get to the end result of which we have now, man. The destruction of the black family, right? So sexual exploitation and violence, this is common still to this day throughout American history. Black women have been disproportionately affected by sexual violence and exploitation. From slavery through the civil rights movement and beyond, black women were targeted by both white supremacy and patriarchal violence. The lack of protection for black women, particularly in the face of rape, sexual assault, and harassment, contributed to the breakdown of black families. These acts of violence often went unpunished, reinforcing a culture of trauma and fear within black communities, right? Hold on, let's get that again. I love this one. I just don't know what verse it is, right? We're going to go back to where I'm at right now, but we need to deal with this, right? So Deuteronomy 28:66, it says, "And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have none assurance of thy life." Right? So that's literally talking about this here, man. Right? That's exactly what that's talking about. I think it's a little bit more on this, right? So it says intersection of racism and gender and discrimination, right? So it says the intersectionality of racism and sexism meant that black women were subject to multiple forms of oppression, making their struggles unique. They faced systemic racism that devalued their lives, as well as gender discrimination that denied them equality in the workplace and in the home. Right? These intersecting systems of oppression created an environment in which black women were often pitted against black men and their families, further destabilizing the black family unit. So they have this where they want the woman to go against the black men, right? And their families, right? What is that going into? Deuteronomy 28:56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Man. So this is exactly what that is, man. Right? And it's a systemic thing. Man. It's set up from the beginning. It says the conclusion of the matter is the history of black women in America marked by a series of systems and tactics used to keep black families fractured and disempowered, right? Whether through slavery, economic inequality, criminalization, or the stigmatization of black motherhood, these efforts have had lasting effects on the stability of black families. However, black women have always been resilient, and throughout history, they have resisted these forces, fought for their families, and contribute to the broader fight for social justice and equality, man. So we could close that out, right? So we see that this is an effect still, and it says, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for the want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gate. So this is, the siege is actually about us being sieged from Jerusalem, but also us being sieged from Africa and brought over here to America, right? So these all go hand in hand with the ongoing problem we have with Eve coping with the white man, right? It started here. It started with slavery. It started with them wanting X, Y, and Z, and then eventually it come into this, right? So this is Jeremiah 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O black sliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Let's get that out there. I ain't got no blue letter Bible open up. You're gonna get it. Right, so Jeremiah 31:22, we're going to get this word for compass, because we don't want to get all this other stuff, right? It's just compass, which is sabab, which means about, compass, turn away, remove, return, round, side, turn aside, turn back, beset, driven, compass, and, right? So here is change direction, that's a good one, right? Change, enclose, envelop. Reverse is a great word, right? sure if it's here, but so basically they're gonna gain power and authority over the man. That's what this is really saying, man. This is why um, they make it seem like the women is don't need a man, they don't want a man, and this is why media will push that. Do we really need men? Actually, let's get that right. And it's crazy. It is very crazy because Eve was in this coping for her man, right? Of course, I'm getting an ad, right?
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the
Hopefully,
following
it's not too
question.
long.
Do we need
4
men?
minutes and 6 seconds.
Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man.
She saw don't think like this, man. She's married. You see this right here? This is the left hand on her. She got a ring on her finger, man. If she don't need men, why is she married?
In their lives, only one. But when men...
This is why we know that the narrative being pushed to us, right? Esau sitting up here married to a man. She ain't no bisexual, homosexual, none of that. She is straight. She married to a man.
Asked a similar question, do we need women? Most of them said yes.
And men understand that we need women because it goes hand in hand. We need women for a lot of things. Women make the world go round just like men make the world go round. If men didn't have women, this place would be a very destructive, terrible place to live in. And if women didn't have men, they wouldn't be able to live. They wouldn't be able to survive, man. It's a need on both sides, man. We need the protectors and providers, and we need the nourishers. The nourishers ain't going to be able to protect and provide, and protectors and providers is not going to be able to be the nourishers, right? A man can't nourish a child, man. He can feed them and he could give them, but properly nourishing a child, a woman has vitamins and nutrients and things that's generated in her breast milk for a child that could lead or wean off diseases and infections and so on and so forth, man. Right? But they thinking that we just need they don't need us and we don't need them. It's a hand in hand thing, man.
So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless.
And then this is Eve. That's a Latino woman, and let's see what she got going on.
And by the way, I wanted to fair.
She's married too.
Differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men.
See, and then of course they're gonna say that they need the homosexuals, right? Of course they're gonna say that because this is the narrative that's being pushed. They want to effeminate the men, and they want to emasculate the woman, right? And get rid of the straight man out of the black homes, man. They want it to be just effeminate, weak, and feeble men, right? They don't want strong, dominant, and forceful men in a black community, man. They think it's off, man. They think it's weird, man. They think that black men standing up for themselves is gonna cause a problem, man. Which it is. The number one black man standing up for black nation or Hispanic man or whatever, the black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, when we come to knowledge of self and when Yahweh Shai come back, man, this is going to be the last thought that they're going to be thinking, man. They're going to be thinking like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do to protect ourselves, right?
Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing harm to yourself like gay men.
That's a lie.
But with the exception of something like Steve, I think Steve is very self-sufficient.
That's Joy's husband.
But like my husband,
They talk about their husbands, man. Why don't you need a husband? Why do you have a husband if you don't need men?
it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth. He can,
Really?
you know.
Yeah.
But you guys also married to
I
people that are more.
have Handy Manny.
And then here go the right-minded Eve. She probably gonna be more fitting of a Proverbs 31 than any woman on this damn show.
At home.
No.
He fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the.
All these women have rings on their finger. The one that's got some decent knowledge is her, man. All the rest of these women is foolish, man. She talking about exactly why she needs a man. And these women like, nope, we could call the guy. If you don't have a guy to call, you gonna have your husband to do it, man. Can you try and do this? Can you do this? Who gonna do the things that you ain't willing to do, man? Emotional ass woman.
I enjoy all the man stuff.
So wait a second.
I'm not going any further than that, man. Because they just gonna bash, man. We not going into that no more, man. So we see, man, right? A woman is compassionate, man. They don't think they need a man, right? But this is actually a lie, man. But the reason why they think that they above a man, right, in this day and age, man, is because the government give them things like assisted living, man. They give them things like food, which is EBT and SNAP benefits, man. They give them things like the number that they let to call 911, man, right? A woman go and call the cops on her, man, and think that she's gonna be good, man, right? Cause she know when she called them cops, man, she hoping that they killed him, man, right? That when a black woman calls a cop on you, she expecting you to get dealt with, right? Even a Hispanic or a Native woman, man, it ain't no different, man. They is looking for you to get dealt with, and I could be an testament for this, man. I was dealing with Eve in the truth. Her father was a cop. She calls her dad over to be the problem solver, right? But him being a sound-minded man, all praise to the Most High, right? Him being a sound-minded man, he's like, look, man, just get your stuff and find somewhere to stay, right? Because I was staying ultimately with Eve at the time, right? And I'm not ashamed, not afraid to tell my story, whatever the case is, man. But staying with Eve at the time, and she thinking her dad gonna come and off me, man. Put her hands on me. In the truth, Eve in the truth, right? Put her hands on me. Calls her dad, says, look, he hit me, he punched me. And I'm like, what you mean I punched you? Why you telling the cop I punched you, right? This is Eve in the truth. They think that they can do whatever they want. They think they above the man, right? They could tell you, oh, you can't do this, they can't do that. But then when you go into Genesis 3, actually, we just gonna go into Genesis 3 real quick, man. Right? I want it out of here too. So that's I want it out of the Bible Hub. Give me a moment, man. My internet is not the best today. It's usually a little bit faster, but I'm all the way in the back room. I'm still not where I need to go. And it ain't gonna be quick as I need it to, man. Hopefully it's not like lagging on stream. But either way, that's rather here nor there, man. Right? So this is Genesis 3:16, right? And this is what the purpose of the beginning was, man. When Eve sinned, she brought sin upon the whole world and upon Adam, man. Right? And this was her curse, man. Right? So this out of the King James version, right? This is how it's supposed to be. It says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, he shall rule over thee. Actually, I'm gonna get the G and T, and I'm gonna have to make sure I indicated that I used this already. Whenever I'm doing a live video, first thing I'm looking for is a pen. There it is, right in my face. All right, so the Net Bible actually is what I was going to use. I'm not using this one, even though that's kind of good for what I'm looking for. But I want this right here, right? Because this is perfect. Because it actually did happen, man. Right. So to the woman, he said, "I will greatly increase your labor pains. With pain, you will give birth to children. You will want to control your husband, but he will dominate you, right? This is why the Lord said a new thing shall come in the earth. A woman shall compass a man, because she want to control a man. She does control a man, right? In an instance, depending on how much a man is willing to tolerate, man. Because some men ain't gonna accept no. Oh, you telling me to do this? You telling me to do that? They not accepting that, right? Certain men just gonna be like, look, I want my seed. I gotta do what I gotta do to get my children, man, right? And you see this here, right? It's saying that Jeremiah 31:22, which is technically speaking the first precept I had written down here, right? First precept I had written down here. That's what the first, that's what the precept was for Genesis 3:16, man. Right? Let's see if they got that Deuteronomy 28. They shouldn't, because they would never give you that much sauce for anything, man. They don't want us to know this, man. So yeah, man, we see that this was how it's supposed to be, but it's not the case, man. So we got let's get this right. Actually, I don't want it out of there. I don't want it out of there either. 1:10. Okay. So 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, right? So these women, they living in pleasures, man, right? They doing dinners out the house, they doing X, Y, and Z, selling the box, man, right? They looking for that pleasure, man. They looking for that pleasure. They want to have that authority over a man, right? This is where the death is at, man, because they want the authority over the man. The woman who caping the ESAU, man, they believe that the so-called white man is better than the Israelite man, right? Even in the Hispanic neighborhoods, man, right? Hold on, is it called Hispanic purity? Let me see. La Pienza de Sangre? What is that? Literally, cleanliness of blood, meaning blood purity, was a racial discriminatory term in Spanish and Portuguese empires during the early modern period to refer to those who were considered to be old Christians by virtue of not having Muslim, Jewish, Romani, or Agoti ancestors in both empires. The term played a role in discrimination against crypto Jews and crypto Muslims. After Reconquista, by the end of Christian conquest, Liberia or Iberia, it says, and the forced conversion of expulsion of Muslims to Majorjar and Sephardic Jews in Spain. No, that ain't what I'm looking for. I don't know what it's called, man. It's Blancamito? Okay, yeah, improve the race. Majora La Raza, that's what they want. Majora La Raza, that's what it is, man. Right? And it's blanqueamiento. So it says blanqueamiento or branqueamiento in Portuguese is both meaning whitening, is a social, political, and economic practice used in many post-colonial countries in Americas and Oceania to improve the race towards supposed ideal of whiteness, man. Right? So this is the ideology of how women think they better, man. They want to go to this. They want to go, or not even that they think they better, man. They want to go this way, man. Right? To white out the race, man. To have a pure bloodline, man. Right? Improving the race is what they call it, man. When actually is diminishing the race, man. Right? Them coping and having sexual, having partners does that is okay, man. But the whole nation is caping for Esau, man. Esau is the best one. So we all need to be like Esau. That's what they trying to do, man. Is make their seeds or their lineage all white, man, instead of Israelite, man. Right. So this is what they would do, man. Right. To produce a lighter skinned children to improve the race, man, which is actually taken away from the race, man. We could get all this, man, right? But it tells you about different countries that practice it, and it tells you about the processes, the definitions, all of this, man. Right? We see this still to this day. They believe this, man. This is them coping or caping to white man, right? Or caping to Esau, man. Right? This is them going and wanting to be their oppressors, man. Right? We need second address. I'm going to five. Let me get this flow here. So this second address 5 verse 8. It says, "There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, man. And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters," right? So these women think that they could raise the children. They think they could raise up a man. Some of them know that they can't raise up men, right? And they bringing forth monsters, man. Right? The monsters that's set up against our men. Hold on, wait. This is another one that I need, right? Salakia. So we see this, man. Verse 8, right? It says, "Mention women shall bring forth monsters," right? I didn't have that written down, but I'm gonna write it down now, right? 3:15. If you heard 3:15, you might know what I'm going to next. Some people would, some people might not, but I definitely know where I'm going to. Yeah, we just need the 3. So Isaiah chapter 3, and this is a great chapter for knowing why Eve is the way she is, man. Right, but going into the next chapter is even better, man, because this is the opposite of what we going into in this chapter, man. So this is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 15. "What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces and grind the faces?" Hold on, is this Isaiah 3? It might be 4. Hold on. I thought it was Isaiah 3. Should be Isaiah 3. 12. Okay, so I get right. So it says, "As for my people," Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12, it says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors," man. Right? So they bringing forth these children that are oppressing us, man. And how is the children oppressing us, man? One way with the gang culture, man. Right? But another way is how we have women with these children. And then in order to see our children, we got to go through these women, right? And it says, "And women rule over them," right? Women, they use these children as weapons, right? They use them as weapons, weaponized tactics, man, in order to try and keep the men in order, like I was saying earlier, man, right? If you want to see a kid, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that, and you got to do that, or you're never going to see your child again, right? Women do this all the time in our community, man, right? Women don't let our men see the children, man, and that's the Bible telling us here, man. They weaponize the children, man, whether they're newborn or they 18, man. Up until they turn 18, they weaponize the children, man. And then the children oppress the fathers because now they get around the father, and then they call him ain't shit or so on and so forth. They victimize the father, man, because they don't know what he had to go through just to get where he at, man. Right? And I could attest to this, man, not having children, but just seeing life, man, dealing with life on a day to day, man. Hearing the conversations people have to listen to, man. Right? It was a brother that I teach with often, sometimes, right? And he was having to deal with a lot of problems with Eve, man. Right? She would have men in the truth, right? She would have men come to his doors um, with guns because he was in the court battle trying to get split joint custody of his daughter, right? And then she would deny him his daughter, so on and so forth. And then he just kept on going to court, and now he able to get his daughter every other week or every 3 days or whatever, and then 3 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, type stuff, man. Right? But he had to fight for it, man. He wasn't just gonna lay down and take what Eve was giving him, man. He had to go. Right? O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of the path of thy paths. We don't need to get into that, but I wanted to finish off the verse. So we're going to Sirach chapter 25. I could honestly go into the whole Sirach 25. Because this is a good chapter about man and wife dealing with each other, but we just gonna go here, man. So we need Sirach 25, 24. Give me any plague but the plague of a heart, and give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, right? Right, 24. Okay, yeah. So this, I think it's 26, 24 for me with Eve. I got a song about love me or hate me, and it was originally called Sirach 25, 24, or something along those lines. And it's about Eve and their wickedness, man. Love me or hate me, you don't appreciate me, right? That's exactly what this lesson is about. You could go check it out. Love me or hate me on YouTube Music or all streaming platforms. Gadget Market Shop, check it out, right? But it says this is Psalm or Sirach, chapter 25, verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees, man. A woman that's wicked, man. A woman that ain't that's gonna cape to Esau, man, gonna make you weaker, man. Right? And it says, of the women came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die, man. Right? So the wickedness starts with them, man. Right? It says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad, man. So don't even let them do what they do, man. But we gave these women these routes, man. Right? We let the women go to the hair shops, the nail salons, and they just gossip in these places, man. This is what the Bible speak against. The Bible don't want our women to be talebearers and gossipers, man. Right? There shall be no talebearers of the children of Israel, man. Right? But the women that's talebearers, man. Right? Because they trying to bring down the man in the home, man. You see a woman with a good man, and then you trying to take him out, man. You trying to say you don't need him. You can do so much better than him, man. Right? I'm gonna go another step further. Story time, right? I'm dealing with a woman, probably like 2 years ago, right? My rib at the time, right? Everything all right. It ain't the best, but it ain't the worst. Right? And I was at a point where I wasn't really where I needed to be. I had fell back a little bit in this truth, but I was still in this truth. I didn't stop doing the things that was required, but I stopped doing the important things somewhat. Right? But that's rather than here nor there, right? I was dealing with this woman. I had a first cousin, my mom, her mom, sisters, same mom. Mom, like all related, basically, man. And as kids, me and my cousin, best friends. We used to be best friends up until like 13 years old, man. Right? Well, long story short, this woman trying to get the woman I'm dealing with to deal with other men outside of me. And it's my cousin. So these women will go all out their way to try and destroy somebody from having a good man, right? This even family, man, right? It's just the nature of Eve, man, right? They have that same mentality that Eve had, man, right? And they cape to the serpent, man. Who's the serpent? Esau. Esau, the modern day serpent. They go to Esau and they try and take us to jail. They try and make Esau happy, man. You see, Eve in the workplace, man. They're gonna do X, Y, and Z for Esau, man. If Esau say jump, they say how high, man. But let a black man say the same thing. It's not the same. It's not reciprocated, man. Let them go down to DSS, man. Let them go down to Department of Social Services and try and get some food stamps, right? Or they need to get assisted living. They're going to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that they get that help they need, man. But then you have a man telling you need to do this, that, and the third. And now I'm just going to go to DSS. I don't want to deal with you. I'm going to put you on child support if you ain't trying to do this for me, right? Child support should have been mentioned by me, man. But that's another way that a woman can pass a man, right? With the child support, right? Did I get Timothy 5? Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, right? So this is what we see on a daily basis, man. This is not something that is just a one-off thing, man. This is continuously how they go and try and cape to Esau, man, right? Some of our women ain't that way, man, and it's not a high percentage of our women that's that way, man. But it is a high percentage of our women who will degrade us, man, and won't go to Esau and do the same thing, man, right? They'll be like, oh no, I don't like these people, I don't trust these people, right? But they will still give a black man help. Still call the police on a black man, right? Still do X, Y, and Z trying to get this black man taken off, man. Even to the point of calling up your brothers, your cousins, your uncles. You ain't got daddies in your houses, so you really don't call your dad to do anything. But that's what you do. You call these men, and then these men being birthed under single mothers, man. Now they going and getting their actions. They going and getting all these other things, man. Emotional as hell, and then now they coming and trying to solve your marital issues or your relationship issues, man. When it should have been you just listening to what your husband's saying, man. 9 times out of 10, a man that's going to lead you and your family, man, he's not going to lead you astray, man. A man probably going to be like, look, I don't want you doing this twerking, this, all this stuff, and so on and so forth, man. But Eve, if they is unhappy, man, they going to be like, oh, he put his hands on me, lying, or some stuff, man. Or even sometimes it is the case where a man might do that, man, right? And it ain't right. It ain't right to do that, but sometimes women be putting hands on men too, right? And then they call, right? Anything they could do to keep this man in servitude to them, man, right? And to cape to Esau, man, right? I've got this written down. Let's go here. It's a great chapter about how women's supposed to operate, actually. It's a great chapter of how women's supposed to operate, right? And it's starting around the aged woman. Okay, maybe it's Titus. No. Okay, this is a good one too, right? Down here in verse 9 and down, but I'm actually going to verse 14. I'm gonna do 12, right? So this is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression, right? So the woman is deceived by the serpent to this day, man, right? They think that they got it good. They think that everything's all right, man, right? Until it's, oh, now we're not protected. Oh, who here to protect the black woman? Who this, who that, who that? And then when you realize that from the beginning you could have had that, but you chose Esau's setup, man. You chose his system. So now you trying to get us to do right by you, and you didn't scared us all away, man, right? So it says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression, right? So if Adam wasn't deceived, but the woman was deceived, man, we gotta think, why would the woman was so able to be deceived, man? Because they're emotional creatures, man. You tell them the right things, and they going. And physical sense, in a mental sense, in a spiritual sense. Just look at how many women flood the churches on a Sunday, man. And then the women would know the scriptures, man, but they love what pastor got to say, man. Right? And then they be being deceived, man, in transgression, man. Right? It's an ongoing, non-ending cycle, man. Right? And then that's all Esau's setup, man. Esau set this up from the beginning, man. They wanted Eve to be rebellious against their husbands, but not against them, man. Let's get these last precept, man. Oh, I ain't on 12. So this Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1, it says, every wise woman buildeth up her house. Right? So a wise woman is going to build up her house. But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Is this talk about actually like taking the bricks off the walls and tearing down the drywall? Sometimes. But this is more so in the sense of the family dynamic. And a lot of women don't put their happiness over their livelihood, over what they could get better out of life, man. Right? Over building, over establishing something, man. Because you go and you see a lot of these older women, man, like your grandmas and your aunts that have been married for long periods of time. Even my mother, to be an example, man. My mother, for an example, man, happy a lot. Right? Even there may be some things that she's not happy with, but she's happy. Right? More so than these young women who looking for their happiness out of something, man. My mom done had kids, and they done all grew up and left the house, man. Right? These women, they growing up, keeping their sons in the house, kicking the women out, raising whores, and so on and so forth, man. It's a system that keeps on going on, man. Plucking it down, and then, let's say this, man. Woman and a man married for 50 years, happy, married, died, right? Woman married for 2 years, or not even married, have some children, right? Now it's, okay, how am I going to get as much money from this nigga as I can? Oh, he just got more money. Let me go renegotiate this child support. Oh, he's doing this. Let me go do this, right? He's dealing with this woman. Let me give him hell, right? The woman going to pluck it down with her hands, man. The foolish woman, man. We got to see that Eve breaks down her house by following what Esau said, man. And what Esau say is things like, do we really need men? Right? Why would this ever be a topic of discussion with women, with husbands? I didn't even show the full segment, but every woman that spoke in that minute clip that I showed, man, was all married. Only one out of those 4 women that I showed, man, was defending her husband. I actually just shared this on Twitter a little bit ago. So this is a Proverbs 31:10. Who will find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. So when you got a good woman, man, when you got a woman that's virtuous, right, prosperous, man, whatever the case is, man, the husband trusts that she ain't gonna talk foolish about him behind his back. But the View, man, these women eating it up, man, watching the View while they in they Section 8 apartments, government funded, man. They getting what is it called? Heat benefits to keep their heat on and their electricity, man. Right? These women is the ones that's benefiting off of it, man. Right? And then they telling that, okay, they the ones watching the View, man. And they like, oh, I like that. I like what he's saying, man. Do we really need men? Now you got them on YouTube with they podcast, and they saying the same thing that Esau just said, man. And then you seeing podcast here, but it started where? With Esau. Caping and Esau, man. Keeping a family divided is caping to Esau, man. Not loving your children how you properly supposed to love them by the law, statutes, commandments is caping to Esau, man. Esau want us to stay divided, man. Esau don't want the black man in the home, man. Going and getting assisted living, man, and then forcing the man who probably was already doing enough for you to begin with, right, to give more, right? That's caping to Esau, man. Esau gonna use whatever he can use to make sure that the black community or the Hispanic community or the Native community, even though the natives have a little higher up than the other two parts of that, man, right? They're gonna do everything they can to make sure that these families or these communities don't have leaders. They don't want black men in the homes leading. They don't want black men in the media leading us, and they don't want black men as a whole leading the community, man. If we got like Dr. Umar, and he's not a good man. He's a terrible person, man. He don't raise his kids. He don't do right by nothing. That's why they ain't really checking for him, man. But if Dr. Umar was in his same situation, gaining traction, and was teaching this, that, and the third, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, this, that, and the third, do this, do that, man, the FBI would have already got him, man. Right? Even the Israelites, man. They waiting for, yeah, they see us doing teaching and bringing out the Bible, man, and they can't get nothing for us, man. But they're going to eventually start going, especially with this damn orange clown in this office, man. They're going to start going and trying to start taking us out, man. They're going to start bringing us to the prisons, man, and who you think going to be behind it? The woman, man, right? And even if it ain't the woman, man, it's still going to be like, okay, yeah, these men, they deserve it, man, because they don't love the white man, right? They teach that they going to go into slavery and all white men are going to be exterminated. This is what we teach, man. And they're going to love it, man, because, oh, no, you're not going to kill my God. They came to him because they believe he's God. They came to him because they believe that they can't be like him. They want to be like him. That's why they dye their hair blonde, or they get blonde wigs and weaves, and they try and do X, Y, and Z, man. In a sense of Caribbean women, right? They bleach their skin. Men do that too, right? But Caribbean men and women, they do it. And Hispanic countries, they do it too, because they believe in La Pirza, La Garza, whatever that was, man, right? What was it, man? Blackamento, or what is it? Mejora La Raza. Mejora La Raza. That's what they believe in, man. Right? That's the whole Latin America, man. Right? But thank God the Caribbean islands don't believe that, except for a few, but they don't believe that not even a few, they don't believe that white women is the route to go, man. They don't believe in Mejora La Raza, right? But Issachar and Ephraim, Zebulon, Asher, Manasseh, yeah, definitely Manasseh. Yeah, man. I think those are the major three Hispanic tribes. Might be missing a couple, but those three for sure. They into Mejora La Raza. What did it say? What was Mejora La Raza? Improving the race, which is whitewashing their kids, man. Whitewashing their seed, man. Right? Whitewashing their nation to be Edomites, man. Because it goes by the seed line of your father, man. And then eventually it goes into tying back and forth, and now you got light-skinned Edomites and Israelites, man. Right? Let me see. We're going to get this because I have to get this. No. What is Impact Nation? Is this even a Bible verse? The Bible? Like, I've never even seen that, right? We're going to get Matthew 13. I know it's 24, but I just want to get this really quick. Matthew 13. Is this out of the Blue Letter Bible? I mean, no, I don't want New King James. I want the actual King James Bible. Okay, so 13:24, Matthew 13:24. It reads, another parable put he forth until I'm saying the kingdom of heaven was like unto a man which sowed good seed in the field. Yeah, so it says, but while men slept, the enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So that's what's happening. While we don't, not even while we sleeping, but while we sleeping, right? In spiritual slumber, man. The enemy is coming, and he implanting these ideologies like Mahara La Raza, or like what the Jamaicans and the Dominicans and the other Caribbean islands, man, right? That believe in bleaching their skin, because that's gonna make them accept it. That's caping the Esau, man. That's caping and trying to be like him, man. Right? I should know this, but I don't. The second Maccabees, I know, I'm not even sure about that. Okay, second Maccabees 4, verse 15. I want to get the whole chapter. Second Maccabees chapter 4, verse 15, it says, not setting by the honors of their forefathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. This was men at this time, but now this is women. They like the glory of the Grecians best of all, even men, right? This is going into the fraternities and sororities more so today. But here we got verse 13. Now such was the height of Greek fashions. So Greek fashions, blonde hair, right? Bleaching the skin, man, right? Trying to be like them, man, right? It's a lot of things they do that try and fit their narrative, man. Going to school and getting 13 degrees, man. Now what your degree is worth, man. Degrees is worthless nowadays, man, right? If you got a college degree and you in the work field right now, it's worthless. It's like paper, man. It's just another piece of paper, right? People get hired every day in jobs that require college diplomas, and they only got high school diploma. Trust me, I know. I work for a hiring agency for the most part, man, right? This is what happens, man. They liken the Greek fashions and increase of heathenish manners, man. This is what they liken, man. This is the increase of heathenish manners, man. Going and thinking that you need a degree, man, because the men not doing it, man. So you're gonna do it yourself, man, right? And then all these women is thinking, okay, yeah, we got our degrees, we got this, we got that. Where's my man, right? We don't care for that, right? And they want the men who was in jail. They want the men who disproportionately and systemically what is it called, oppressed, right? And then they want the men that weren't able to do the same things that they were, right? Because Esau giving them everything, man, right? They got VSS, they got SNAP, they got HEAP, they got everything, man. And then on top of that, so now since they get government assistance, they get FAFSA and what's the other one, right? They get all different types of government loans and grants, man, and they get the max, right? I remember when I was in school, right, the first time around, I got I was seeing people, like, I went to a school down the road. It was about $2,000 a year, right? The government granted me. Being in this is I wasn't able to get the max, because I was able to get $4,000 a semester for the amount of time I went. And then at the end of the semester, what they would do is they would give you the remaining amount that you have left over from the grant, right? Halfway through the semester, right? This usually when everybody left school, man. Well, it was certain people in the same programs. The school that was $2,000, they was getting $16,000 back, $20,000, right? Every semester. So then halfway through the semester, they would all leave. You would see black women going crazy in the beginning of the semester, and then a lot of them will leave because they got that little bit of money, man. And then some of them who was actually using their brain, they trying to go and get their degrees, cause they trying to be like the Grecians, man, right? They would stay in school, keep the money, stay in school, get their degree, then go and do it again and again. Got 4 or 5 degrees, man. That's like in the glory of the Grecians, best of all, man. Right? The height of heathenish customs, man. Right? And it says that the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifice and hastening to be partakers to the unlawful allowance in place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. This is what our people love. They love to be under the Grecians, but this is what our women love, man. Women ain't like when you look at Lot's wife. She didn't want to leave, man. She wanted to go back. That's why she looked back and turned to a pillar of salt, man. It is what it is, man. They cape to Esau, man, and it's not talking about every woman, man. Of course, it's not talking about every black woman, man. Right? You have the select few that will go and be about they man. They man. That's what they love, right? That I wish that would be so true, man. Women only about my man, when their man is a simp, when the man is doing X, Y, and Z and letting you do all atrocious things. When a man tell you, nah, I don't want you wearing that. It ain't my man. When a man telling you, nah, I don't think you should go out at all. It ain't my man. Right? When a man telling you, I would love it if you stayed natural. It ain't my man. Right? It's only my man when it's simple men, man. Letting you fit to Esau, man. Oh, my man took me on a trip. Jake don't really be about that, man. Yeah, some people like traveling and doing so on and so forth and seeing the world, man. But Jake wasn't about that, man. He was dwelling in tents, man. Right? That's the Esau. That's the liking of the Grecians, best of all, man. Esau wanted the fatness of the earth, man. Right? It wasn't Esau's blessing, the fatness of the earth. That might have been Ishmael, man. Right? But I'm not sure, man. Hold on. I think that was Esau. I didn't think this video was going to be that long. Whoo! Genesis 27 and 28. No, this was for Jake. That was for Jacob, Salakia, right? So, it did say that Jake, we got the fatness of the earth, man. So Esau's blessing was, hold on, I want to see it real quick. Corn and wine, I've seen Esau. Okay, yeah, I was right. It says this Genesis 27, 29, or 39. I'm just going to get it right. You're just going to get it because it's so right to get it right. But yeah, ours was the fatness of the earth. But it says this here, and Isaac, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heaven, and by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck, right? It says thy dwell in the flatness of the earth, and when he blessed Jacob, hold on. Hold on, wait. I want to just make sure I was just there. Because it was one in Genesis 26, 27, 28, right? I was almost there, right? So this ain't the dwelling, man. That's a difference, man. It said, therefore God gave thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. So when it came down to them dwelling, man, we didn't need to dwell in the fatness of earth because the fatness of earth was ours to begin with. Esau dwelling was the fatness of the earth, or they like to go all throughout the world and dwell upon anywhere, man. Seeing this, that, and the third, man. Right? Esau was a man of the field, man. Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. We gotta understand that our women, they only my man, when they man is a simp. Right? If they my man, it's because they man is a simp. And then you got a few select women, it's very few select women out here that's good women, man. But you have good women sometimes that if they hanging out with their girls, they be like, I don't know if I could do that. Let me check with my man. That's a good woman right there. That say, let me check with my man. Let me make sure it's okay with my man first. Let me do this with my man. Let me go and make sure my man approves of this first, man. Oh, I'm wearing this. I don't think I should be. Let me make sure my man. Like, that's when they say no man can tell me what to wear, man. That's how you know they're caping the Esau, man. They want the white man to look upon them and see them in their nakedness, man. So that the white man could get ideologies in their head, man. And they could get off to it later, man. Because Esau is profane, man. Right? Who gave the idea that dressing naked was the way to go, man? Hardly, right? Esau, this who gave him that idea, man. Right? The man from the beginning, man. Right? Who been doing that for the longest, man. I don't never release my music on this, man. I don't know how they get all my music and they try and put it on this, man. They want me to. Okay, whatever, man. So with that, man, I want to say shalom. How about Shemya Shabrakatah, EGA 2 EC